Now I'm going to start working on a final composition for this piece, something that I can refine later and get it to start. Damn roof leak again. Alright, here we go. Start out with some quick small ones, just to get an idea. I want to do it a little bit longer. And I am going to be keeping in mind that I might have a round mirror, like perfectly circular mirror somewhere in the design. So that might play into my overall process here. I generally like to work that S shape into any sort of flowing design. When in doubt, do an S shape for your composition, whatever elements you have, and kind of fill in from there. It's going to make like a nice movement to it. We want the eye tracking where we want it, focus on the head, moving down the piece, and then possibly back around. Just want to make sure the focus is where we want it. This is kind of more of a queen idea. Maybe I can do something cool with this negative space and some of these flaps, head flaps. It's okay to use reference, of course, but sometimes when you start out, try to just go from memory. Sometimes your memory can come up with cooler things. Even if it's not accurate, you might find something cooler in it than just going straight off the reference that other people have done. So I'm not sure if I'm crazy about that, but again, we're gonna maybe pick and choose between our 3 different thumbnails, pick a direction, commit to it. Alright, time to decide on a shape. And while we're at it, we can look back at our old reference. You'll move that a little bit closer. We could see if there's anything that jumps out at us that we like from those pieces. Let's think about where the base of this spine tracks down. So if I say this would be the normal back of the head perhaps, and the spine might track like this. Obviously we can have fun with it. So if we have the center line here, maybe our center line tracks down. I don't know if we need all that, but I'd like to get some of that mass. Doesn't have to make perfect sense, it's just something that could be cool. We also don't want it to look like the bat signal, so be careful of that. We'll do kind of a faux rib cage, because his ribs would probably come out to here, something like that, you know, tracking with the body. But we might just do something where he has almost implied try to stay loose. I gotta tell myself that sometimes. Now, this is a big problem sometimes. I'm gonna have to move this up a little. So, as I was saying, working on paper sometimes, if you're drawing it at the bottom like this, now I feel like very limited. Work on a larger sheet of paper if you can, or save your thumbnails. Because I'm doing it for the video, I have the thumbnails on the same page. Normally I might do those on a separate page, have them next to what I'm working on. That way I can reference back and forth. And then I have the full page to kind of explore, because now I'm running into this juncture here where I think I would probably make it a little bit longer, but that's okay. Now here I'm just trying to explore some shapes, do some funkier stuff. I wasn't trying to worry about cutting this out of wood. I feel like I could be a little bit freer with it, but I think working within the limitations of something too can be helpful and create a real solid design, because we're gonna have like really nice negative shapes and stuff. Edges that are funky. My chest is hurting a little bit now. Not sure what that's about. In this step, we're going to be doing the final refining of everything. Process can be a little slower going, but try to enjoy it. Now we try to think about where that jaw is connecting into the neck and where it's going to be pinching and pulling. And try to think of a lighting direction coming in from this way. I'm trying to stay pretty faithful to the original design without looking at a lot of reference. I looked at some reference earlier, kind of locked it into my mind. Like I said, I'm a big fan of the whole franchise, so I probably have a bit better idea, or it's just like some subconscious level. But if you need to look at reference, there's nothing wrong with that. And there's definitely times when I should have looked at reference but didn't. You just gotta like check in every once in a while. Make sure you're drawing stuff like it at least kind of should be drawn, not getting too off the rails. Early in my tattooing career, I was drawing skulls really fucking weird before I just kind of learn to stick with the fundamentals and build off of that, but it all comes down to that basic framing. I understand the phallic nature of the xenomorph, but I don't want to intentionally put something odd in there, so let's see if we can get away from that a little bit. Like comic artists will do, if they're drawing a vein or something, you can do a hard edge on the top, maybe some hashes on the bottom to show that shadow. Switch back to a hard edge, hashes, just to break it up, switch it up a little bit. This is starting to look like a walnut or something, so sometimes less is more, but if it looks cool, I mean, it's your vision, so do what you want with it. Now, as I make this transition from this kind of classic, more rendered head, and I'll jump back up here real quick, I'm going to start having a little more fun with it, just being kind of loose. I still have to sort of make things make sense, like every little nub wants to attach into somewhere, even though it doesn't really, it's not anatomically correct, obviously, it's just this worm shape. So if you're adding little texture pieces, even if you're doing something as simple as a circle, you don't want to just do that because it's boring, or even a black dot. I mean, if it's small, you might have to. But if you have the space, try and come off that top edge and just give it a little partial edge. Something to think about. Just have fun. Get after it.